Same thing gonna happen with Spence. They're gonna figure out some type of excuse why Terence Crawford was successful in the Canelo Alvarez fight.
I'm different. I'm an elite fighter. So that's the difference, big difference.
But after fighters fight me, they never the same. So I just hope your career continue.
If you look at my career, never same after me.
Terence Crawford didn't just send a message to Canelo Alvarez. He sent a warning wrapped in fire. He promised to dismantle the Mexican icon with the same ruthless precision he used to break Errol Spence Jr., and he meant every word. With calm confidence, Crawford shared his take on how Canelo might be gearing up for their looming showdown, urging him not to underestimate what's coming. Stories around the fight keep painting Canelo as the favorite, leaning on his legacy, his years at the pinnacle. But Crawford sees it differently. He knows Canelo thinks he's seen it all, and that's exactly why he won't see this coming.
I don't know. I just think, sometimes some fighters, they fight to their level of competition. And, I think he's definitely more experienced, more well-rounded, given the experience that he had in the Floyd Mayweather fight. So we shall see. No, he just seen a lot of fighters. He's been through the boxing game for a long time. He got a lot of experience, and in his heart and soul, he feel that I'm not gonna show him nothing new that he haven't seen before. No, not at all. He didn't fought southpaws, he didn't fought orthodox fighters. So, he's been in the ring with a lot of fighters, and in his mind, he don't see nothing new that I can bring.
Tyron opened up even more, saying this fight won't just be big, it'll be iconic. Like two legends stepping into the ring to prove who truly stands above. He's confident that on September 13th, he's bringing something unforgettable. While the hype around his power keeps building, Tyron believes it won't be the punches alone that leave a mark. It'll be the precision, the intelligence, the way his mind works in the ring when the lights go down.
Legend too. So, we got two legends fighting each other, and I'm definitely, daring to be great. And I'm going to be great September 13th. I'm not taking no credit away from Canelo's skills. A lot of people, they only talk about his power, but he's very skillful in there, and, he's respected.
Giving back in kind. When it came to Crawford, Canelo didn't bite his tongue. He told Turkey he hopes Crawford's getting a big payday, because once it's over, Crawford won't be the same. For Canelo, this isn't just another bout for the check. It's something deeper. A moment to carve his legacy into Crawford's story, to leave behind more than bruises, to leave a mark that lingers long after the final bell.
And don't get me wrong, you're a great fighter.
I know I'm great.
You're a great fighter, but are you gonna find out? I hope your uncle Turkey Alashi pay you enough money, because it's gonna be the last. That's for sure.
It may be. Maybe.
I hope he pay you enough.
But after fighters fight me, they never the same. So I just hope your career continue.
If you look at my career, never same after me.
Still, Crawford made one thing clear. He's not losing sleep over the noise. He spoke about how the fans and critics will probably react if he hands Canelo a defeat. Just like after the Errol Spence fight, he expects people to scramble for excuses, trying not to give him his due. But Crawford, he sees that as part of the territory, and when the moment arrives, is more than ready to silence the doubts all over again.
They're gonna make excuses. The same thing happened with Spence.
Same thing gonna happen with Spence. They're gonna figure out some type of excuse why Terence Crawford was successful in the Canelo Alvarez fight.
You gonna retire if you win this fight, or you're gonna keep going?
I don't know. We shall see.
It is what it is. I got the style, I got the skills, I got the heart, and I'm not gonna sit around.
And tensions exploded at the fight when Canelo shoved Crawford, sparking a fiery exchange that came inches from erupting into an all-out brawl on the spot. Security rushed in, stepping between the two before the fire could spread, pouring gasoline on what was already a blazing rivalry set to unfold inside the ropes. Canelo's fans roared with chants of Mexico during the briefing, their voices rising, hands lifted high, fueling their champion with passion and pride. Reflecting on the shove later, Canelo Alvarez shared how it lit a fire inside him, pushing his focus to another level. He made it clear, he's diving into the 13th with everything he's got, no holding back. For Canelo, this isn't just a fight, it's a reckoning. He's ready to settle the score where it counts, inside the ropes, with a clash that's already crackling with the promise of fireworks from the opening bell.
I'm turning on right now.
Right? Yeah. Did it make you want to go harder for the 13?
I don't know, but made me feel more excited.
I love it.
I'm gonna train so hard. I'm being in this sport like so many years. I had so many good fights in my career, and I had the experience to adapt myself to these kind of fighters. I fight everybody out there, every style, and I'm gonna do my job and put all my experience, all my talent there, and that's it. I'm different. I'm a elite fighter, so that's the difference.
Meanwhile, boxing commentator Sean Zittle weighed in on the fiery face-off shove, suggesting it felt a little too perfect, like it was choreographed. He noted that moments like these often play right into what promoters, organizers, and even fans crave. A dramatic spark to raise the temperature, dial up the tension, and inject even more electricity into an already massive showdown.
No. That's not, there's 30 security guards.
Oh, it feels a little contrived.
You think so?
I think a lot of people feel it's a little like.
Well, I'm glad you used a big word that most of us don't know.
Sir, New York, that's a weak ass push by Canelo, and that is not Canelo. What he did with Caleb Plant, that was real. He slipped him and then slapped him, and that was like, okay. This felt like, hey, social media saying you guys are being too friendly. We're paying you all this money. We're putting the knockout bonus there. Come on, we got a fight to sell. Let's heat this up a little bit. Obviously, they're both great fighters, and they're both coming to win, but I don't want to get too deep into it today, but my thoughts on the big picture, like what's looming, the fight to me, because I'm the journalist, right, is an afterthought.
Adding to that perspective, the Way Idea gave his own take on the shout, noting that the tension felt different this time, because of how fast everyone on stage jumped in to break it up. He described the moment like a game of tennis, with Crawford and Canelo trading steps forward, eyeing each other down, and raising the heat every single time they met. It was all building, stacking energy, setting the scene for a fiery collision the moment the bell rings.
Terence is not stopping here. He's walking straight up to him, way past Dana. Here's halfway, he's like, nah, I'm meeting you at your front door. And he's backing him up. Oh, and then there's the shove. Look at Bomac. Oh shit, we got everybody getting in there. Reynoso, security, Michael Buffer. It's a game of tennis. It's a game of back and forth, because this time Canelo walks up on Terence. Like, yeah, okay, you got that one off. Watch this. Now I'm gonna push you back a little bit. Yeah, see, I'm gonna push you back.
Looking back on Crawford's earlier wars, Sean Porter recalled Bud's showdown with Errol Spence, and how he overheard Crawford's corner admit that guy wasn't even sticking to a game plan. Porter later learned Crawford had confirmed it himself. He was so amped for that moment, he threw out the playbook entirely. For Porter, it was a clear sign. Crawford is at his most dangerous when he's not thinking, just moving, driven purely by instinct and raw, unstoppable fire.
Way out of the room, I was talking to his cousin and a couple other people, and I think it might have been Shakur, but somebody said, yo, he didn't even have a game plan. I said, what? He said he didn't have a game plan. He was asking us what he should do before the fight.
Shakur specifically, right?
So I think it was Shakur that said that. So then I talked to Crawford after the fight, and I know I talked to him on the podcast about this specifically, but then I talked to him afterwards, and I said, stop saying you didn't have a game plan. You had a game plan. He said, look, Sean, we had a game plan, but in the locker room before the fight, I just was fired up. And he said he had, even walking out to the ring, he had it like, just so much energy, passion, dog. He wanted to go right after her, so using that story again to relate to everyone, you're right. That dog is gonna be there, and he understands that he has to be.
Echoing support for Crawford, Denzel Bentley, the English pro boxer, confessed he had his doubts early on. At first, the idea of Crawford stepping up to face Canelo didn't sit right. But as the fight drew closer, Bentley's confidence began to shift. Now, he truly believes Crawford has the tools to shock the world. He noted that Canelo hasn't looked like his peak self in years, and that's what makes this clash so compelling. It feels like anything can happen.
Oh man, at first I didn't like it. I was like, come on, don't do it, don't go up there, don't do it. But as it got closer, I'm believing in Crawford, man. I mean, I think he can pull it off. We haven't really seen the best of Canelo in years. I think his best days were at 160. When I think of it, that Danny Jacobs fight, that's probably the best performance I've seen Canelo in all these fights. I know he's had so many fights, better performance, but in recent times, just the lateral movement, the elusiveness, the way he lets his shots go, the just effortless kind of movement and you know, flowing of punches. He hasn't been that since then. Since he moved to
Pushing his point further, Bentley didn't hold back in his take on Canelo's current form, calling him little more than a powerhouse hunting for one big shot. He said the crisp, precise Canelo of old seems gone, replaced by a slower, more planted version, throwing fewer punches with almost no setup behind them. Bentley sees that shift as the opening Crawford needs, an edge he can exploit when the two finally collide under the lights, with everything on the line.
just a powerhouse. He's slow with his feet, throws less punches than we've seen before. He's always looking for a big shot. That hardly sets anything up anymore. It's just his whole style has just changed, and it's worked for him because a lot of fighters go in there with that fear factor, like, oh my days, it's Canelo. Or he will wear you down at some point because he's so physical and strong, or when he hits you, you kind of don't want to know because he hits so hard. But I don't think Crawford's going to go in with that mindset. I think whatever Canelo brings, he's going to be able to match. He's got better feet. Even though at 154 his feet didn't look the best, but Majimov is a good mover. But he's got better feet, he can fight both ways, and I think he'll use more of his arsenal than what Canelo would use. So I think he would find it easier. So I think Crawford can beat him.
Tim Bradley echoed that same feeling, saying if Canelo couldn't take down Charlo, there's little chance he handles Crawford. Bradley didn't hesitate. His mind was made up. He'd back Bud Crawford to win that fight any day of the week, believing Crawford's sharp style and pinpoint precision would simply overwhelm the Mexican icon, leaving him searching for answers in a fight he can't control.
Canelo couldn't knock out Charlo. Or you really think he's gonna knock out Crawford? I would pick Terence Crawford to beat a Canelo Alvarez, even at 168. Everybody can call me crazy and whatever you want to say. I get it. Y'all didn't believe me when I told you about Spence, but trust me, Crawford will figure out a way. I know a secret y'all don't know, and I ain't gonna tell you why I would pick Terence Crawford, but it's part of the...
On the other hand, Show the adult stepped in with his take, claiming the fight was already decided the moment Crawford stood across from Canelo. To him, the body language during that stare down said everything. He saw it instantly. Canelo carried a presence that felt beyond anything Crawford had ever faced in the spotlight. And in those quiet, subtle reactions, he believed Crawford may have already slipped a step behind, mentally beaten before a single punch was thrown.
How the press conference was ending, I was already scripting this reaction video to talk about how His Excellency Turkey Al-Sheikh has won the press conference until the bitter end, the face-off, and not just the face-off, the end. Can you please look at the end when Terence Bud Crawford made this face?
Once in a lifetime, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Terence Bud Crawford, Arabia.
The fight is over. See, I've seen that face before. I saw that shit on Rocky 3 when Rocky Balboa was staring down Clubber Lane. Forget that. I saw that face when Rocky Balboa was in the pool and Apollo Creed said, one more lap.
Once in a lifetime, ladies and gentlemen.
That face is called the holy shit face. He stared down Canelo, and for the first time, he saw someone as great as himself. For the first time, he saw a kid.
Edgar Berlanga offered a more balanced take, reminding everyone that in boxing, anything can happen once the bell rings, while Berlanga leans ever so slightly toward Canelo, crediting his natural size and weight advantage, He refused to overlook the danger Crawford brings. He emphasized that Crawford's technical brilliance is elite, enough to challenge anyone on any stage. That's what makes this fight so compelling. Far from a done deal, it's a clash loaded with mystery and edge when they finally square off.
I truly believe, that, anything can happen in boxing, you know what I'm saying? And Terence Crawford is a legend. He's great. He's a great fighter. The only thing I see that I favor Canelo is that, is his weight.
Yeah.
And that he's more bigger. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing. But as far as skill set wise, IQ, I feel like Crawford can match anybody and probably do way better, you know what I'm saying? But, Crawford is a legend, bro.
Yeah.
And like I said, you can't.
Furthermore, Bob Arum didn't hold back when weighing in on Alvarez's current approach to the sport. In Arum's eyes, Canelo no longer fights with that same fire to thrill the crowd, now chasing the biggest paydays above everything else. For the seasoned promoter, it's a clear sign. Canelo's focus has shifted, and that change in hunger, that shift in purpose, could be the difference when he stands across from a driven, razor-sharp opponent with everything to prove.
Has shown in his last few fights that he's just a businessman. He's not in there to entertain the public. He just takes the big check. But again, if Canelo really fights, because I think safe to say Terence always fights. He doesn't know anything else. So then it could be a very good, interesting.
At the same time, Arum recognized just how dangerous Crawford can be. He stressed that everything depends on which version of Canelo shows up. The warrior who once fought for legacy, or the paycheck chaser who's just counting dollars. Is the real Canelo gonna step into that ring? The one hungry to fight, or the one just chasing another payday? Because the Canelo we've seen over the past 2 years hasn't just been flat. It's looked uninspired, lacking the spark to bring fans a true battle. Crawford's coach, Bomac, didn't stay quiet either. He reminded everyone that styles make fights, and in his view, Crawford holds the edge. He sees sharper skills, smarter tactics, and a tougher mentality in his fighter. Confident in their camp's swag, Bomac promised that Bud will be ready when the lights go up. Skills pay bills, he said. To face someone like Canelo, it's not just about power, it's about craft. You need defense too. You feel me? Styles make fights. With superior skills and a sharper boxing brain, Bud isn't worried about brute strength. His goal is to outthink and outbox. If he sticks to the plan, the damage will come on its own. And if Canelo slips for even a second, Crawford's ready to make him pay.
Fought at 168. You think you have enough power to hurt the great Canelo?
Of course. I don't have to have enough power to hurt him. I just gotta beat him. That's it. If he slip up, then,
Although Canelo admitted he never imagined sharing the ring with Crawford, especially with the weight gap once making the matchup feel impossible, he also acknowledged something deeper. This is boxing, he said, and in this sport, anything can happen. Now that it's real, now that the date is locked in, Canelo says he's counting down the days. Each one brings him closer to stepping through those ropes for a fight that could go down as nothing short of legendary.
We're thinking about the fight Crawford. I never in my life, because he's a low weight than me. So, but I'm never thinking about it. But that's the fun part of boxing. You never know what is gonna happen, right? And now we are here. And I'm glad to share the ring with one of the best fighters out there, and I just can't wait.
In American and in Spanish.
I'm gonna win.
Spanish first.
¿Ah?
Spanish first.
Voy a ganar.
Voy a
ganar. Esa es la idea, ganar. That's the idea. Always in my mind doesn't exist a loss. I train, I put my best, I dedicate myself to this sport, and I'm just thinking about win, to make history, and this is not the same.
As the countdown to September 13th draws closer, one thing is crystal clear. Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez is shaping up to be more than just another fight. This is legacy on the line, and when that final bell rings, there will be no room for excuses, only truth. If this breakdown spoke to you, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more updates on this epic showdown, and drop your predictions in the comments below.